Awesome. Cool, guys. Welcome to BabelFish's 13th community call. I would say this is the community's bar mitzvah. And we're incredibly thankful to you for supporting and believing in BabelFish. Honestly, it is the community and this teamwork that makes the dream work at BabelFish. And really, that's what powers us through late hours of work and motivates us to ship the products that all of us want to use. As usual, I would like to start with some basic statistics. We in Telegram in the main group we have right now 2,100 members, and on Discord we have 3,100 members. Also in this 13th bar mitzvah call, we're celebrating the nearly $13 million of XUSD that we have, backed one-to-one by other parent chain stablecoins that we're currently accepting. I would also like to thank, not only this amazing community that the support that everyone has been given to BabelFish and continues to do so. We also really want to extend a warm thank you to the sovereign mutants for believing in XUSD's proof of concept product early on and integrating it into their portfolio and assisting us in being the first token to launch through their launchpad origins last week. Really, it's been a pleasure working with the sovereign mutants. We also want to thank the Liquidity wallet and the Defiant wallet teams for adding Fish token as a default ahead of the sale, and they will also be adding XUSD shortly, and we have more partnerships that are beginning to roll, as we continue to grow. Last week we had a sold out pre-sale. All fish was gone in 30 minutes, and we had 8,000 messages sent on Telegram during the 25th and 26th, which were the 2 days that we had for the private and public pre-sale. And today you can see the price in the Discord bot. You can also, of course, see it by going to Sovereign's spot market. And the price is now tripled and stabilizing at 35 cents. And we will be sharing more details about this and a few other incoming partnerships, as well as some quotes from early supporters in a press release that will be published this week. This is just the beginning of XUSD's alpha version that was launched less than 3 months ago, but we are already the largest stablecoin in rootstock, guys, and are super hyped about the ecosystem synergies that's creating already. And the best part is we're not even 1/10 through what we've set out to do. So what did BabelFish set out to do is very simple, right? If you're here, I'm sure that you've seen the content that we put out or our Twitter. Our goal is simply, to enhance stablecoin flow and accelerate hyper-Bitcoinization, and we want to do that through a borderless stablecoin translator that can be exchanged one-to-one by other accepted stablecoin chains, stablecoins in different chains, or be used as XUSD, and most importantly, be insured by Bitcoin. I think that is our unique value proposition. Not only aggregating liquidity, but being insured by Bitcoin, which is the ultimate insurance and store of value. We believe that as soon as we start doing that, the sooner we're going to have over 50% of our collateral insured by Bitcoin, if we're in here for Bitcoin in this market, because we believe what Bitcoin can really become. As you know, we listened to community feedback and delayed the lending of our collateral and therefore the accumulation of Bitcoin insurance. But we are considering an early deployment of a savings functions so that we can start liquidity mining rewards in about 2 months from now, and rewarding savers with fish as well. The first liquidity mining rewards will be used for the SOV staking airdrops. So that's the 1.42 that we decided to award to the SOV stakers community. And so, yeah, for the second month and onwards, this can change, but we're thinking, that the fastest way to start liquidity mining and to start, accumulating Bitcoin for insurance would be to enable a simple savings function which would keep XUSD backed one-to-one, while also having liquidity mining rewards that will enable us to accrue Bitcoin. Bounties. So the airdrop is coming. This airdrop that I'm mentioning of the 1.42%, just like the first million in fish bounty rewards, is going to be coming next week. And so for all future bounties, they will not be liquid after this first drop. Future bounties will probably have a vesting, are likely to have a vesting schedule just to have a tight tokenomics, and more details about that will be shared, through Discord, through Twitter, and through these community calls. So what's ahead, right? Definitely, we think that communication is, as important as developers. And we need railguards to onboard, many more community users, and also people that want to use XUSD and bring them over to Rootstock or facilitate their movement of stablecoins from chain to chain. So everything changed from last week to now. Even though governance will be rolling out soon with the forum, we can say that we are already a DAO. We're already becoming a decentralized autonomous organization. And the core team can help steer the community, but clear guidelines, clear rules, and clear information is really what leads to the emergence in a school of fish, just like in our brains, like independent neurons, just by having clear parameters, clear guidelines, clear rules, that's what creates emergence. And we think the same will happen with the BabelFish DAO, so long as the clear guidelines, rules, and information are in place for anybody joining. It doesn't matter if they joined 3 months ago or if they're joining tomorrow. The whole idea of our DAO is that if a leader fails, the protocol and community incentives can keep on running. And we admit that building a functional DAO is really as hard as building a stablecoin aggregator. But yeah, it's just as important for this project to succeed. So we were thinking a lot and working a lot in the background, different members, on how can we ensure that great ideas and proposals bubble up to the top of our communication channels. And again, we realize that we need to improve our communications, be more transparent from a roadmap across community and product, to even, who are the pseudonymous members of each team. And that means story team or community team, adoption team, development team, and where and when are they meeting, so that everybody, doesn't matter if they're not being rewarded at the moment, can join and stay aligned around the shared long-term visions that basically, emerge during community calls or chats, while keeping it permissionless, right? So we want a permissionless system, but that still requires some sort of guidelines for this emergence to occur. So all of these changes in communication, improved communication, will start rolling out in the coming 2 weeks, which is also when, around the time that we expect the forum and the DAO to begin rolling out as well with the first proposals. And the idea is to ensure that they are simple to understand and participate in it constructively and towards these shared objectives. Yeah, so we've seen a lot of the bounties that we've shared in the BabelFish website, just like the sticker competition and the logo competition, as well as stablecoin research and the analytics dashboard. These are bounties that are bearing fruit, and we're seeing some amazing work being done by the community in both product research and community marketing as well. But we're also aware that this is a very top-down approach to dictate which bounties BabelFish needs. And again, because we are now turning into a DAO, we're also discussing the possibility of opening, besides these bounty proposals, it would be interesting to have open up a grants model for the community to be able to propose help on each quarter or on each sprint, where each member can, commit in a very granular way to a specific deliverable, specific timelines, and users can, hop on or hop off as they see fit. We believe this is the most common way to participate in decentralized autonomous organizations, right? So from research to DAO partnerships, to stablecoin integrations and lending integrations, insurance protocol integrations, NFT projects that are happening, and just day-to-day management operations. There is room for improvement everywhere for you. If you're listening to this call, BabelFish wants you. We mean that, and we want you to help us take BabelFish where it's supposed to go. So we will be sharing more information on how to do this in a simple way, to filter out the noise and let ideas with enough energy make it through. We're thinking about something like, besides providing the guidelines on what you want to do, ideally you could users could do a simple like pitch deck, and then in a community call they would need to pitch it to the community where all of us can listen to it, and that will be a much better way to keep everyone aligned and grow the community and trust that way. So again, all of this will probably be rolled out throughout these coming 2 weeks, so before the next community call, so that it's all clear on how you can participate, be rewarded with fish, and help us build BabelFish. BabelFish belongs to all of us, and now more than ever. So I see that Novax is also on the call. As you may have heard from Flametail and Novax, there's work on POAPs that we're also researching. POAPs, it's basically like, proof of participation in communities, and that's really becoming really popular. So we want to start rewarding you for joining these calls, and that may have some value in the future. And then also NFTs, we think NFTs are super hot. And we want to also leverage this just to grow community in different ways, outside of the usual, bounties or grants that you may participate in. So before leaving it off to Novax, I don't know if Novax can show a demo of the NFT on this channel or not. All I can tell you guys with absolute certainty is that, we have an amazing team, community, advisors, and a vision for BabelFish. It's really going to be super exciting, and you're joining us very early in this journey. So thank you again for your continued support, and buckle up, because this ride across the DeFi galaxy is going to be a blast, full of opportunities. So so I think that's kind of like my update and notes for today. Novax, if you want to present your NFTs, if you can, and then we can open up. I'm sure the community also has a lot of questions.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you, Dark Knight. Am I coming through okay? Everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, we're working on lots of stuff. One of those is right now the basic solution of being able to screen share during these calls, because when we use the stage to be able to filter who's speaking and organize that so it's not so noisy, then we also lose this functionality to screencast on here. So we're working on a solution for that. I think I'm going to hook up OBS to Library or to Odyssey later today, so that I can just stream during our story school calls on Tuesday. Anyone here right now today who wants to be involved in what we're doing with the NFT art, with the Babelverse and all the story school stuff that we're doing, please participate with us. Join tomorrow, Tuesday, 6 p.m. UTC over in the Story School. If you're not already included in the Story School channel, which is closed, then go ahead and ask us in the art and illustration channel there that's public in the Fish Tank, and you can just ask to be added into the Story School if you have interest in participating in this stuff in a deeper way. And so I have prepared a trailer video, and I do want to share it, but it's not quite ready. I think I might refine, because we've developed a few more mini games this week. So we're really flying through production, and it's really cool. I see some people in the chat asking about if there's help with development needed, and so our goal here is 60 days to have something usable that will have 6 mini games, that will have an NFT, customizable NFT maker with our customizable pixel art BabelFish. And Dragon Bro's on the call. Dragon Bro is an absolute prodigy, building a ton of this stuff himself, and real talented guy and young guy who has a lot of energy and a lot of ability. So He's getting quite a bit done himself, but we've also brought in Galactic Cyclist, who's just a really senior level developer. So he's doing some great stuff tying it together. So yeah, I will get some visual stuff to you guys here while we take questions, so you can see a little sneak peek of what we're doing, and hopefully by the next community call, we'll be streaming some of our prototypes. All right, so I'm going to open it up to questions, and I would love to hear from you guys now. So go ahead and jump on the stage and let's chat.
Thank you, Novax.
Absolutely.
Stan, you have the floor, but you're muted. All right, Stan. We will add someone else. Hi, this is Roy.
Hey guys. First off, congratulations on the token generation event. Seems like it went overall pretty well. So the Sovereign Staker airdrop, I've heard kind of conflicting dates. Like, is there a known date as to when that airdrop is going to happen? And then I'm just curious, like, why the delay? I think it was scheduled for a couple days ago originally, right?
Yeah, so there was no official. There was some. I think there was some message sent on this Discord that may have given a date, but the airdrop will be happening most likely Wednesday. So yeah, that's when you can expect the airdrop for SOB stakers.
Got it. And then I've also heard conflicting things on whether this is going to be liquid or vesting or a combination of both.
Yeah, so the same as it was written on the SIP, so it will be it will vest over 10 months. So it's 10 months linear vesting.
Got it. Okay, and then you'd also mentioned kind of like the XUSD, like Multisig that Sovereign holds, like, and then you're talking about kind of like starting lending already. So has Sovereign already handed over that Multisig?
No, so this is a separate. So Sovereign still holds until we propose a different, until we start doing first additional integrations other than Sovereign, which we're already beginning to look into. Any sort of lending, because we listen to the community feedback from both BabelFish and from Sovereign regarding their concerns, mostly on the lending side, not so much on the collateral. That's why we had our first risk/advisory board meeting. We are due to have a second one soon, and we're also having conversations with, for example, DAOs like Credmark that specialize on risk research, and that could be really cool. So something that we're thinking on the side, which would not affect the reserve ratio, would be to have a separate product built in, which is just and this is something that's not decided on yet, but the code is there, it's composable, we can it's not that hard. It's just a savings function, and that savings function what would allow, if you're saving, you're not getting XUSD, you're just saving, and you're going to be earning fish rewards, and then the collateral of these savers would be lent out, and then the yield we use to start accruing Bitcoin ASAP. Because that's really what BabelFish set out to do. But yeah, it would not. It would be separate from. It wouldn't affect the reserve ratio of the XUSD that's on Sovereign.
And then, sorry, one more question. So, I think generally the sale went pretty well, but I do know there were some issues. I'm curious if that was like on Sovereign side, on the Origins platform side, or if that was on RSK, and then kind of how that impacts how you see RSK's ability to scale. I know it's not directly a BabelFish question, but I do think it's somewhat related.
Yes, I think it's an industry-wide question. This Roy, we are building on rootstock. BabelFish really came out of Sovereign, right? There's a lot of Sovereign members building BabelFish. Why? Because we really believe in this whole idea, like you as well, about building on Bitcoin layer 2, right? And I think most people in this community believe in the value about contributing to the most secure, most liquid, and oldest chain out there. Now, there are some scalability issues right now on RSK, right? During the sale, gas fees went up. A lot of people tried to participate, from the first minute, and they didn't put enough gas. Then gas prices went up, and then, their transactions got canceled after waiting for over 10 minutes. And then one has to wonder, well, isn't this supposed to be Ethereum? Because it's beginning to feel a lot like Ethereum. I do know that RSK is working on scaling solutions as well as sovereign. I don't know what their status is in there. What we do believe, and I think that this validates our case for building an RSK. Is yes, last week, and again, there are no experts, and I'm not. But someone that is working on Square's TBD project, right? Last week he was tweeting that after a lot of research on Square's TBD project to build Bitcoin DeFi, they're most likely, they really like rootstock. So I really think rootstock is the right place to be building on. And yes, there are growing pains, but that's sort of like the general state of the industry. And if you want to build on Bitcoin, we're still very early, right? If you want to go and build on Solana or on AVAX, great, but you're not contributing to Bitcoin's security budget at the end of the day. But we will get there.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Stan, I see you unmuted yourself.
I would like to congratulate everyone on this successful.
Sorry, can you rephrase the question?
It's not a question. I'm just here to congratulate everyone for the successful initiation of our project. So that's.
Thank you, Stan. That's great.
It's great to be around this team. Wish you the best.
Thanks, Stan. That's amazing, man. And if you'd like to get involved more, you know where to find us. We're right here in this Discord. So come on and get involved.
Yes, no, I'm planning to come to you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, man.
All right.
Varelsen, you're up.
Hello, thank you. So I wonder, what will there be any vesting period for liquidity mined fish tokens, and what will the possible mining pools be?
Right. So, the whole liquidity mining vesting schedule, it's on the tokenomics. These are the same tokenomics that we have since the SIP. It's it's very generous, in particular in the first year. When it comes to vesting, just these are still things that are being decided. And again, with a DAO, they can change. They can be put up for a vote, but we want to start rolling these saving functions likely. But if we roll it out, again, this is not set in stone. So this is just, I'm taking it off my hat from what I see in other projects that we're learning from. There is no vesting for what you are, if you're doing liquidity mining. But yeah, I cannot give you a concrete answer there yet.
Okay, thank you. I wonder about one more thing. All the wallets that tried to participate in the fish sale but failed to secure a purchase, will they be rewarded or honored in any way?
Yeah. So if you were not able to participate, or if you sent more than the wallet limit, then you should be refunded. Yeah, and if you have any troubles with that, let us know on the trading channel here. Even though that was done through Sovereign's Origins platform. Also, you can, if you have some troubles there, ask on the trading channel here or ask on Sovereign, just so that your message gets across, or even message me directly.
And Dark Knight, I can comment on this because we have been talking a little bit in regards to this with the BabelVerse and the prospect of in order not to overrun the BabelVerse when we open it up for people to try it out in a little bit here, a couple months. We are going to kind of try to limit access by issuing the BabelFish pixel art NFT as kind of the character that you have to have first before you can move around in there. So we were talking this over and thinking, if we can find a way to demonstrate or for people to prove, I did try to participate in the token sale. Here's my failed transaction or whatever. Maybe we can issue you guys an NFT that will hopefully have, maybe potentially some significant value in the future, but that will also have the functionality of allowing you to be one of the very early testers, which will also give you access to being able to be some of the first to earn rewards inside of the BabelVerse. So that's something that I'm thinking about. I haven't talked it over with a lot of the guys yet, but I just want to mention it as something that I'm entertaining as ways to to provide some community engagement and some reward for people who are in that position that you described, because I know that there was a lot of them, because we sold out in under 30 minutes. So pretty much everyone's going to be in that boat. I can imagine a lot of folks would appreciate something like that.
Cool. Thank you for that answer, Novax. It's all on the blockchain on the RSK Explorer to be explored. So question is just how to extract it and do something with it.
Yeah, and I think it can be done, with fairly minimal effort. That part of it, the organizational aspect. But I think it would be best to do it as like a proactive thing. Like, here's a sheet, here's a form, fill it out if you have this situation, then we can confirm and verify. But yeah, we'll talk about it in more detail. I just wanted to let you know that we're thinking about things that can be done that would, I guess, just provide another opportunity for people who are engaged and are contributing and are participating early to be able to receive benefit and reward for that.
Cool. Thank you. Rock on.
Nice. Yeah, and by the way, I'll just mention I have posted a little bit here on the board, so you can see what I've posted there in the CC. There's some images I mentioned I would be posting, so check that out, guys. And then who else is up for question on the stage?
Yeah, we got Suryansh.
Hello. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you have the floor.
Yeah. Thanks. First of all, congratulations on the great success of public sale. So it just sold out under 30 minutes. So I had basically the same question which Desaroy asked, the last question regarding the scalability of RSK network. Because I was wondering that our main target is to expand our product to the public, and so when the traffic will get increased, so whether this scalability would become an issue for us. That was my basic question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that a member of our team, I think this happens every 2 weeks. So actually this Thursday, one of BabelFish's contributors was on Rootstock's ecosystem update, just sharing BabelFish's mission. So I'm pretty sure that the team on Rootstock is aware of that, of the problems in the cell, and they're doing the research. I don't think, there's not much we can do now, but I do know that, both Sovereign and Rootstock are working on scaling solutions, and we are, we're actively working with developers in both those communities.
Okay.
We're just very early, Suryansh, right?
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. And I had another question. That being, so like BabelFish will be an independent ecosystem that will get collaborated with Sovereign, or it is a part of Sovereign's ecosystem, like it is a subsystem of Sovereign, in a sense that like BabelFish, whether BabelFish will have its own dApp, and whether people will be able to get stablecoin directly from the dApp of BabelFish and then use it across other chains including RSK and Ethereum and other chains, or whether BabelFish will be a subsystem or a sub part of the Sovereign ecosystem in long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, in the long run, that's definitely so. So again, like we BabelFish is starting sort of like with the Origins launchpad. Think of it as like it's like the bird's nest. That's where BabelFish is being born, and it was originally being tested. And we're also looking into potentially using the fish token within the Sovereign exchange as well for doing some DeFi transactions as well. But the long-term goal, absolutely, for XUSD is and continues to be a multi-chain solution. So right now, people use XUSD. It can only be used right now in Sovereign, and now it's being added into Tropicus Finance, which is another DeFi project in Rootstock, and there's another one that just launched. I can't recall their name right now. It's being added into Rootstock wallets. But the idea is that as soon as XUSD needs to get to at least, it needs to be above 9 figures. So, anywhere from 100 million and up, once we get to 100 million or more than 500 million, then, it will be very interesting for example, Compound to accept XUSD as well, and for XUSD to begin being listed in, whether it be in Avalanche, Cosmos, Ethereum, if it still exists. But that is definitely the main goal. But right now it's just XUSD being accepted in Rootstock, and if you want to move your stablecoins elsewhere, you just exchange it for a stablecoin, whether in Ethereum on Binance that we use as collateral. But that is definitely the long-term objective. The short-term objective is to bring liquidity, stablecoin liquidity to Rootstock, which we've accomplished in a little under 3 months by becoming the largest stablecoin already, by dollars outstanding and also by market cap. We just need to 10x it basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Thank you, Suryansh.
Yeah.
Moonkin.
Oh, I have to actually accept the invite to the stage.
Yeah,
Hello,
there you are.
guys.
Hey there.
You're
Sweet. This is my first community call. Actually being present, I've listened to a few offline, which has been very nice and informative. And so, congrats on the launch. I unfortunately was not able to join due to the gas wars that ensued. Also, really loving the artwork of the BabelFish token and the sovereign, platform. I don't know who's making that stuff. If you guys are collaborating, but yeah, looks great. Anyhow, I have a few comments on the sovereign token sale, and then I heard Varelsen asking about like perhaps some sort of a reward or token of good faith for the people who at least tried to participate, be there on time, and just a suggestion there could be like a sale allocation or something like that. And I know you guys are you're developers or you're engineers, so you can find some way to hopefully for users to prove that they actually participated on time. I don't know, server request logs or something like that, because I noticed that our transactions actually ended up in blocks that were really, really delayed, so can't really look there for clues. Yeah, I have a lot of questions actually. I don't know how I should yeah, would you like to comment on that one for instance?
Yes. Yeah, so if I understood correctly, and I think it was, so I think it's like a twofold answer. So one, or three-part answer. So one, it's, tokenomics are important, and we need to be careful and mindful, sure, of people that wanted to participate and couldn't, but we also need to be mindful of those who could. And it's not just,
Right.
giving fish, just as goodwill, because it's not, we want to sustain, to be a sustainable DAO. So we can just, just give away as like free willy.
Yeah.
And then I think the most important way and the easiest way to fish, it's like, to earn fish, right? So as I was mentioning in the sort of like introductory remarks, it's, we have this Bounties channel, and if you also just randomly start talking on Discord and really propose things, the community will hear you, and we want to improve this channel so that anybody, can contribute their small grain of sand or their kilo of contribution. We just need to make this railguards and instructions very clear so that anybody understands how they can participate, how can they be rewarded. And then the other thing is what Novax was mentioning. I think that's what's cool about POAPs and NFTs. I think you bring up an interesting solution, Moonkin, about failed transactions and then potentially reaching out to those people, or just we don't know who they are. We could do like a random NFT drop to those addresses. It's something to consider. But yeah, those are very valid points. But again, we think that right now it's the best way to really, if you think that this is a project that attracts you because you like stablecoin R&D, or you believe in Bitcoin as an insurance, or you just really want to be involved in DAOs or in the NFT, like really BabelFish has something for everyone. That will be the best way. But definitely thank you for bringing that up. You know, if you're one of the people that, like you're mentioning, that you couldn't participate, we know that can be frustrating. So thank you for bringing that up to our attention again.
Yeah, thank you guys for already considering these things. It's really nice. Any other comments or thoughts on the feedback? So you were using the Sovereign Origins as your IDO or ICO platform. What's your feedback towards Sovereign, if any?
Well, it's my opinion, but then there's other people that are not, from the team that are not in this call. As I mentioned, it was like one of the first things that I mentioned. We're following on Sovereign's, the mutant superhero footsteps. We really think that before Sovereign, there is innovation happening on Rootstock, but Sovereign really, put the idea of, this idea of Bitcoin mutants, Bitcoiners that believe in DeFi on the table again, and began shipping, and and then they built this amazing bridge, and that's when the idea for BabelFish sort of like came up. Hey, we have Bitcoin liquidity in Sovereign, and there is a bridge, and it's going to start bringing all of these stablecoins, but they should be aggregated, so there's deeper liquidity. Let's leverage, Sovereign's community and their bridge, and then, if it works, we can replicate it and really become a multi-chain solution. And then they allowed BabelFish to launch XUSD and to have the token generation event. And the team, the way that the amount of shipping that the Sovereign team does, it's just a great role model for BabelFish, and that is why also the BabelFish governance, which should be out by the next community call, it's basically a fork of Bitocracy as well, and that's why we're also giving an airdrop to SOV stakers, because we really think that they're doing something right and that they have the right community. And they have amazing developers. So yeah, we're really following on Sovereign's footsteps. And yeah, we're very thankful for the support they've given BabelFish. I don't think we would have made it as far without their support. Maybe half as far.
Thank you. One last question. Since RSK is as a chain is kind of small, I guess you could say. I assume one would be able to have like a tight communication with the RSK devs, to provide valuable feedback regarding, usability, user experience, and stuff like that. Is that true, or like, can you get a hold of them? Can you talk to them? Do you have a close communication, or what is the dynamics like, the space like?
Yeah, so again, on the ecosystem update, there was like, someone from the team providing update, just basically sharing the BabelFish pitch. And the IOV Labs also, which is, I think it's a non-profit. IOV Labs, it's like an organization that really helps support Rootstock. And just because XUSD is becoming so large, they are really opening opportunities for BabelFish. For example, they are, even though BabelFish's code has been reviewed internally and externally by people that are solid, IOV is now sponsoring an audit as well, which should also be complete if all goes according to plan by the next community call as well. And just they're always asking if there's something that they introductions. They definitely want to grow the ecosystem, right? Just like the Solana founders or the Ethereum or the Avalanche founders. There are incentives. It's like a garden. DeFi or blockchain ecosystems, it's like a garden, right? So you need to make sure that you're nurturing all of the different plants in that ecosystem.
That's nice. Actually,
so if you're going there, if we're going to pass them the feedback about what happened during the sale, I am sure that the message has already been relayed.
Yeah, exactly. Not, I mean, like not only what happened during the sale. Like I was more like, are you in continuous communication with the team? Is that a possibility? Not so specifically about this token sale. I mean, they have other things to worry about, of course. But as developers on the RSK platform, I'm wondering if you're having a a tight feedback loop with the developers, the main developers of the chain.
Yeah, there's definitely feedback, and if you're considering also to build on RSK, let us know, and we would be happy to hear more about what you're doing. Introduce you to relevant people to have conversations with. It's definitely a welcoming community that it's. I believe, and I think the team believes that it's gonna see a lot of growth over the coming 12 months, especially with El Salvador, etc., because they're very focused in Latin America.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the relationship is sort of like, what everything that we build on RSK, we're almost like a client of RSK, because it celebrates and promotes and builds their network. So they always respond in that way, as though they are making every effort to help and to communicate with us. When I've reached out myself personally to RSK for various purposes or tagged them in posts, they've always been responsive, and I have found them to be, though they're probably not the hugest team of people, quite impressive for their ability to engage and get back to people. So I think that relationship will grow over time as the network grows and as our project grows.
Nice, thank you. Oh, and one final one then. I'm a very fond. What should I say? Well, I love Terra. I love the Terra ecosystem and their blockchain and the devs building over there, and in particular their stablecoin as well. And I heard you guys were talking about it your last community call. US Terra, which is an algorithmic stablecoin. It's pretty cool how it works. I was just wondering if you were having any more talks about that, or if you were like sincere and about getting into it a bit more, or actually wrote them an IP in their forums about perhaps adopting or reaching out to the BabelFish community. It was like a month ago or so. Unfortunately, it didn't receive much feedback on the improvement proposal, but I did anyhow. And yeah, any comments?
Yeah, thank you, Munkin. That's actually great. So you're not the first one to bring up UST here. I believe there's other UST fans in the BabelFish community. We have basically, so all of this, everything, once the DAO properly rolls out and it's clear what can be voted on, all of these things that we may roll out before votes, many things can be changed, right? We're learning as we go how DAOs operate. But the stable coins that we have in our immediate sort of like radar short term are primarily, to begin with, it's RDoc, which is RDoc and DOC, which are rootstock native stablecoins. There's a lot of liquidity there, in particular RDoc, and so it makes no sense that that people cannot use them, for example, in Sovereign or in or Tropicus, etc. So the first one that we're likely to add pretty soon, it's RDoc as well as DOC, and then we have we really like UST and we like Fei because they're decentralized. We also like TrueUSD. So Terra, they're also a great, just like we really like MakerDAO. I think that what Terra is doing, MakerDAO is a great example of a DAO and a decentralized stablecoin. And I think that Terra, although it's a fairly new project, they're doing quite well with Luna and all. It's a bit of an algorithmic model, which can bring some risk that I know that they passed with with flying marks during sort of like
crash.
Collapsed. Yeah. But I know that you're not the first one mentioning Terra here. So thank you. The fact that you brought it up there, I made a note here, and maybe you and someone else that I've identified on this call that really like Terra. I think as I mentioned earlier, we are really looking into DAO to DAO partnerships, including for, research proposals. So I think we should have a call, maybe 3 or 4 of us, about Terra outside of this community call. So I'll definitely reach out to you separately.
Cool. I
No,
don't mean
that's
to hog
great.
the stage, but I'm noticing there are not many questions, so I might as well ask one more. Like, I'm
No,
curious.
please do.
Yeah, so you guys, right now, you're not a decentralized anonymous organization, or in a sense you are, but you didn't have the platform set up for you to be able to. So I'm just curious, like, how is your organization or fellowship like transitioning, like from the state you are in now as a team into what's going to happen now as you formed the DAO? Can you talk a little bit about that, process and what you feel like it's going to look like?
Sure. I think here it's all about, being radically open and radically honest. So, to speak frank, I believe that there is no, there may be some, guidebooks on liquidity mining or farming, but there really is no guidebook yet on how to jumpstart and run and basically create the guidelines for a DAO to be sustainable long term. Other than like Ethereum, and even Ethereum, like we look at all of these examples that are happening across DAOs, and we look at examples, for example, Uniswap, it's sort of like the holy grail of DeFi projects out there. And then, somebody came to the DAO for the DeFi fund and they requested 20 million and they said they wouldn't sell it, and then they got him, and then they sold half of it immediately. The
Right.
Ethereum DAO hack, you have all of these things that are happening in DAOs, which basically it's fine. It's what is happening is that we are all learning by doing. The one thing that's important, what we are identifying that matters in building a proper DAO, is that instructions on how to participate on and boundaries on what sort of like are the limits of participation are sort of like essential. They need to be translated into different languages. And then once we have that set up, then slowly we will start with votes. So we're working on a roadmap now that we want to make public just to share sort of like the core teams, 6 month, so one like quarterly view all the way to 1 year, and then sort of like, what are the things that we may need every 2 weeks or so across development, research, community marketing, and sort of like open source that for the community to participate and to sort of like to steer the conversation around the goal that the BabelFish original team wants to go to. And that, we hope that's going to work, but then there are also going to be little things that we need to be careful. This is the first thing that the community in Sovereign and BabelFish also brought out to our attention. They said, hey guys, we shouldn't just let the fish governance to vote on what to do with the collateral, because we do not know who these people are. And so that's why we need to be very careful, and mistakes will be made. But that is how we as a community will grow. So I'm just speaking frankly here how it's going to happen. The best that we can do as a team before sort of like beginning to hand off control is to make our vision very clear and sort of like the instructions. And then every now and then, of course, we will have to say, we cannot vote on this, or this, this will need to go into like another vote, or this. That's what we're sort of looking into it now, and we want to share more content and information and guidelines before the next community call. And eventually, I think only MakerDAO has managed to properly turn into a DAO after about 4 years. So it's a long journey, but there's definitely some good role models and advisors and an amazing team that we're excited about what we can do with BabelFish. So we're early, as I keep on saying. If this excites you, all of this, again, there is no rule books, and we are setting the standards, right? So you can help us there too.
Yeah. Do you have any advisors or people that you frequently talk to about, your progression and stuff?
Yeah, there are some early supporters of the project, and again, more details on that will be shared sort of like on a press release. But we definitely have the right attention, and again, we're building on rootstock, which is very focused in Latin America. We want to build a product that it's not a meme coin, but stable coins are not about the mad games. It's really about really being a sustainable solution.
Yeah.
So we think that we're building something really cool. So we have good advisors and we have the heart in the right place. So join us in the spaceship and help us set these parameters, right? So I look forward to continuing this conversation on the sidelines with you as well for Terra. There's a lot to learn from them too.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.
Now we're coming up on an hour here. We'll probably take a couple last questions and wrap it pretty soon.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's me again. So I'm curious on the kind of technical side. I pushed on this in previous weeks, and Dark Knight, you kind of mentioned where some of the code is being audited. So like, are we close to maybe seeing some of the code, or like having the repositories updated, or like a white paper? And then more broadly, I'm just curious, like, can you estimate, like, is it like one or two devs like that primarily are working on this? Like how big is the core technical dev team that's working on this project?
Yeah. So there's about 4 to 5. I'd say like 5 devs, 4 to be more precise. So 4 devs. The code is actually live. If you go to babelfish.money, it's the last link, code on GitHub. And if you go there, it's just github.com/babelfish protocol. But the one that's being audited, which is the upgrade that we're doing, is the phase 1. And then the governance, it's going to be a fork of Pitocracy, as I mentioned. And then in terms of white paper, we are likely to see in the DAO, and also whether through independent research or through DAO to DAO partnerships, like organizations like Credmark, to see a lot of research on stablecoin and protocol risk. When it comes to the white paper, some of the members also here were building a similar product in 2018 called Cement DAO. And like most projects back in early 2018, everybody had a white paper, and then the product, ended up being very different. It's a joke, right? It's like how the white paper looks and how the actual project looks. We're going in a way where we're just, okay, it's very simple what we're doing. We want to aggregate stablecoins. We have that. Okay, now we want to lend it. Okay, let's first do the research on what are the risks involved, what would be the right, parameters to do it. And basically, instead of having a white paper that's, putting a lot of fancy equations about things that will be different half a year from now, we want the DAO to be sort of like a source of knowledge for everything related to stablecoin R&D. And that's the reason that, we just basically hit the ground running, right, with the aggregator. And then we put the pause in the time in the lending side. But now we're thinking about a solution to keep on moving forward in that direction while research on the lending risk gets done.
Right. And so why did Cement DAO, like what happened to that project? Like, I'm on the website right now and I'm like, I see there's a bunch of information on here, so I appreciate that. But like, yeah, what happened to that project if it was like back in 2018?
Yeah, well, we were too early disarray. It was a great team, and there was a lot of Cement also organized the first ever stablecoin only event, and they also had a blog that was the first one to identify the 100+ projects going on there. But there were no DeFi markets then in 2018 like we have today. Stablecoins giving you sometimes like more than 10%, but let's say 10%. None of that was really existing in DeFi. Like all of DeFi was new. Compound, Maker, and the entire stablecoin ecosystem was less than 4 billion or so. And so it was an idea that was too early for its time. And then basically BabelFish came along. We had Sovereign, so there was immediate demand for a product similar to Cement, and more simple. Cement required a risk, like a token for risk takers, and a governance token, whereas now it's just ours can just be just one token. So yeah, it's timing would be in one word.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's super helpful and gives some nice additional color. And then more broadly, so like all the development work that's being done, like I'm not a developer, so it's hard for me to kind of gauge this, but like, is it done on RSK and then separately you have like code on like, you know, Binance Smart Chain and then separate code on Ethereum and then separate code on all these different ecosystems? Like how much of it is bifurcated against the different ecosystems, like the code itself?
I'm happy to to go more into the weeds with you on this also in a separate call because we have a few more questions.
Sure. Okay, that's fine.
Right now, it's mostly on RSK, whereas what we have in Binance and Ethereum is just a contract to accept ERC20 stablecoins and just lock them, and then based on that, we create the meta stablecoin on RSK. So that's what would give us the flexibility as well to be lending the collateral on the parent chains.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll let Whipper take over.
Thank you, Tisseroy.
Thanks, Tisseroy. Right on.
Hey guys, congratulations on your sale and your success. Wish you guys lots of success going forward. Just have a question. Once you guys fully take over the contracts, not only from Sovereign, but will users be able to see in real time in the future where all the funds are at any given point? And when I say that, like I mean like average users, not people who can read smart contracts, but will there be like some sort of UI that sort of breaks down where the funds are at any given moment?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we have a bounty right now for like a data visualization of sort of like the collateral that we have. That's also like in maybe this is not like a public. We haven't made it. I think we shared it on Twitter, but maybe it's not in our Notion yet. But you can see in the smart contract, what is the collateral right now backing XUSD. And yeah, we have someone that right now it's making a very cool dashboard, just basically showing time series of types of collateral that we have. And deposits over time. And
then this is an idea that I don't think Dark Knight and I have specifically discussed yet, but it's something that the BabelVerse devs were talking about, taking those visualizations, infographics, and then creating a BabelFish mothership within the BabelVerse so that anyone in there can access like the UI panel on the BabelFish mothership and see all of that information about the protocol allocation within the stablecoin basket and whatnot. So that's something that is a dream of mine that I hope we can implement as well.
But yeah, I just shared in there a link if you are more interested in seeing sort of like the collateral. And as you can see, it's also very important that we start, voting in the parameters of the stablecoins that we have, right? We want to have more decentralized stablecoins and definitely less of the centralized ones.
Okay, cool. I definitely think that would be a great thing for users to be able to track. So that's awesome. I'm happy that you guys are working on that. That's all for me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Whipper.
Nice to hear from you, Whipper.
Thanks, Novax.
You got to play some chess, man. I've been playing my dad. He's been kicking my butt. I finally beat him the other day, so I think I'm ready. I'm ready to take you on.
Nice. Did you play with us on Sunday?
No. I remember I said I didn't want to reveal my small brain to everyone, so...
Okay, cool. Yes. We'll see you soon enough then.
Right on, man.
All right, awesome. It's interesting how in all of these Bitcoin meetings, there's always people playing chess. I think we may have one more question. Let's see, Solsuk. Oh, I think he just withdrew the request. So yeah, we're at the hour right now. If there's no additional questions, I think that's a wrap for the 13th community call. Again, thank you everyone for supporting BabelFish and for being on this call. And we really look forward to a lot of updates that we can create this emergence of the school of fish that we want to take BabelFish where it should go and really 10x from here and really become a multi-chain stablecoin translator. Thank you guys and have a fruitful week. See you around.
Peace.
See you guys.